Hello, welcome to the Connecting with Our Community webinar led by Studio Designer CEO Keith Granet. We appreciate you taking the time to join us today. Today our guest is Phillip Bershad, President of Phillip Jeffries. We invite you to submit written questions anytime during the session. After Keith and Phillip finish their conversation, we will begin our audience Q&A. If you go to the GoToWebinar control panel under questions, you will see a dialog box to type in as seen in this screenshot. We will try to get to as many questions as possible. And now, here is Studio Designer CEO Keith Granet.
Sorry, Lauren, can people see me? Something went wrong here. Okay. Welcome, everybody. This is our fifth installment of Connecting Our Community, and we're thrilled today to have Phillip Bershad from Phillip Jeffries. He's a longtime colleague and friend who we've been working together for many, many years, and I think you're all very well aware of his amazing company. So, Phillip, please join us. Hey, welcome.
Hi guys, hi everyone. Thanks for having me join you. Good to see you, Keith, and good to talk with anyone who's on.
Well, we'll hear from them after you and I speak. But we're really thrilled to have you and for you to hear and for them to hear what's going on in your world. So my actual first question is, how are you? And how's this been for you?
It's been amazing. My joke is I'm living the dream, but no. It's obviously been a crazy few. Has it been 2 months already? I think it's been almost 2 months. So it's definitely been a crazy a time and a lot of breathing. Everyone together, breathe in.
Yeah, exactly.
Out and. But trying every morning to stay positive and say what I'm thankful for, and trying to bring some good energy wherever I go.
You need to use that mindfulness exercise, the mindfulness exercise we did in Kyoto.
Absolutely.
Use that for sure.
Shoulders back. It's all good.
So, what lessons have come out of this for you, as far as dealing with your company, dealing with customers? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. Well, I think one lesson that we took was sometimes you have to take one step back to take 3 steps forward. And with that, when everything happened, I'm sure like a lot of the people listening, it was very chaotic. It was very crazy. Felt like everything was coming at you every minute. It seemed like it was something was different at least every hour in terms of showrooms closing, buildings closing, different things happening. So I think one thing was patience and really taking a step back and trying to decide where we wanted to go and how we want to address certain issues and topics, and taking that breath and pausing. And then 2, I'd say also almost contradictory, was not just sitting and not just waiting. It was, all right, let's breathe, let's make some decisions of what we want to do and then move forward, not necessarily just sit on our hands and say, all right, well, what can we do, and to try to create some forward momentum as well. So patience and then activity.
Nice. Anything that surprised you?
Well, I would say that during this situation, I think our staff came together with a great community. And I know you mean on the news, every friend I talk to via Zoom or FaceTime or what have you now, I has experienced that or shared that with me. And I'm sure for many of the people listening, it's how much people have come together, how much people have been willing to help out or lend a hand, and how we've all come together during this very difficult time to try to help one another and to get through this together. So I'd say that was something that I've been very pleased with, and and not that expected chaos, but it's been a very pleasant, I think, to see how the community has come together. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, completely. I mean, I whether it's doing webinars and living life on Zoom, and even having, social cocktail parties and social ability to see people, it's been remarkable how much people really need to feel connected while they're in isolation. I know for you, and I experienced it firsthand, is you used to have, that morning powwow with your entire team. And are you continuing that in some way with through Zoom, or is that?
Sure. What I think you're referring to, just so everybody knows, is we have a daily huddle at 11:45, and Monday it's for the whole world, meaning everyone who works for Phillip Jeffries, from Singapore to London to LA and here at our headquarters. And then every day at 11:45, we also have it here at Phillip Jeffries, from the executives to the people answering the phones to the warehouse team. Everyone comes together for 6 minutes every day. We're all about community and trying to bring that. So what we've done, though, is in the beginning, when everything started happening, Jeffrey and I started doing weekly videos to the whole team. We have something internal called Yammer, which is a Microsoft-based software. If anyone has Microsoft 365, it's a really good tool. It's like Facebook internal. So we were posting that, and then a different person on our executive team was posting in between. I might do Monday, Jeffrey might have done Friday. And anyone who's listening, Jeffrey's my partner, my brother, Phillip Jeffries. I'm the Phillip, he's the Jeffrey. And virtually, we're doing it now every Tuesday. So at 11:45, we have over 150 people on the Zoom, and we're doing a little meeting saying, let's start with some good news. Let's start with let's recognizing anybody who went above and beyond. We have an acronym for our values called WIPTAG. Stands for Wow, Fun, Integrity, Passion, Teamwork, Accountability, and Growth. And hey, Keith, thanks for staying late and getting out that sample to, whatever that might have been. And then we started having a different department talk for 2 minutes, and that's something we do usually every day. And this is something we also have been implementing once a week, right? So right now it's once a week, and then our different departments are having their daily huddles as well.
Yeah. We actually instituted at the studio a Monday morning 15-minute check-in just to make sure. And we're asking anybody who has any talents to demonstrate them, like play some music and just connecting, just to make sure they're doing okay, how their weekend was. And then every Friday we do a more serious report back from each of the divisions. But it's very helpful just to see everybody's faces.
Absolutely. If anyone has any questions or wants to chat, I'd be happy to answer any questions regarding it. But in my small group of my direct reports, every day we start with a good news and then go around and say what our top initiative for the day and the week is, and sometimes we start with gratitude. So today I was on the way. I am actually the only one at Phillip Jeffries in the office part with the guys in the back in the warehouse, but on my commute, first it was. The first song up was like Graveyard. The second one is Can't Wait Losing You. I'm like, I need something else. Like went to 80s and it was Born in the USA. So I was grateful to be living in such a great country. And they say gratitude is one of the best things you could do to be optimistic. So I just try to have a little gratitude every day.
That's cool. Well, speaking of gratitude, I know you announced employees over profits. Do you want to explain that? Because I thought that was really wonderful.
Yeah, thanks, Keith. Well, at Phillip Jeffries, we're a family business. And again, some of you guys who know us might know that my dad started the company over 40 years ago. And for those of you who don't, he started it in our garage. And even though we've grown to over 180 people now, we still believe in a family atmosphere. And with that, during this difficult time, we took a look and we said, we wanted to see what we could do to make the best out of it. So what we decided to do was do no furloughs or layoffs. So we kept everybody on at Phillip Jeffries. We did do a pay cut across the board, and everybody except the guys in the warehouse who are coming in every day and I even hate to say it, but risking their lives, where we supplied masks and goggles and gloves, of course. and they're socially distanced, but they're actually out there, so they're getting their full pay, but everybody else had a pay cut. But our point was, we didn't want to just look 1 year out. We were looking 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, not just a couple months, and saying, if we really wanted to have the best team and be able to provide the best service in the industry, this is, a commitment. So Jeffrey and I put some personal money as well into the business to enable us to do this. And I mean, the crazy thing is that we talked about is there's used to be every business in our industry, and probably a lot of the businesses of people, the designers listening, are either family businesses or sole proprietors, and that's not really the case anymore. There's companies like us or Granet or Stark that are still family owned, but most of them, the big companies, aren't anymore. And we really wanted to say, hey, we're here and we want to support our people, and that's what putting the employees and clients first and then profit second is about.
That's fantastic. You had mentioned another initiative that, we all know that some companies
I don't know if anyone wanted to. Sorry, Keith, you paused. I lost
for a second. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's like, at least there's not like cats and kids jumping in the background. Yeah. Yeah. So I think as an industry, we've seen a lot of people struggling, and I think you said that there's an initiative to really help people who may be working or worked with some of those companies and found themselves in a tough spot. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I've done my best to try to reach out to a lot of friends and designers in the industry, and done my best to ask questions and see, how can we help you? What's going on in your world right now? And one of the things that I've heard and Jeffrey had heard is, unfortunately, we had some big companies this year, some in the spring and some just a month ago, go out of business. And some of the people in the design industry were hurt and actually had money and deposits that they lost. And we said, well, what's something that we can do to try to help? So we launched a new program called the PJ Pledge, and it has 3 parts. Part 1 is, if you place an order with another company for a wall covering company, and that company's out of business, or for whatever reason can't supply your goods, we will offer you comparable goods at a discount, at a 20% discount, and also offer free shipping, and that's through the month of April. Additionally, we were trying to give back on any way we can. So with that, we're offering free shipping through the end of the month as well, through all of April, on any order, on any good at Phillip Jeffries. We actually have over 1,000 items that we are open, and we are shipping samples and orders here in New Jersey. So we actually have over 1,000 items that you can order and still get tomorrow. It's actually, believe it or not, as well as anything that's made to order. So if you order something, we're offering it with free shipping. Because one of the things we're also hearing is that clients, our designers are telling me that their clients are saying, well, can you help me out a little bit? Times are tough right now. Can you help me out, or negotiating rates? And here, it's not the end of the world, but here's something that we're offering free shipping on orders up to a certain level. And then the third part is what we call the free storage. So it's something we hadn't done ever before. But if you place an order and you want it, but you have no place to send it to, your installer's not taking it, your office is closed, no problem. If you place that order and pay for it, we'll hold it for you at no charge for up to 60 days. And then when you're ready, we'll ship it out still with free shipping. So it's not everything, but it's a little something to help. And it's our way of trying to create. And as I said, sometimes you can't just sit on your hand. We decided we were not going to just sit on our hands and knees and just, just send out, here's what's new. And yeah, we are coming out with new product, and we are trying to innovate and come out with some fun images so people see installations or see what product looks like. But it's not all about promotion. It's also, here's something we can do that will help the designer, as well as provide, of course, the product and sampling and design and all the things that we hope people come to Phillip Jeffries for.
That's great. So let's talk about what is available and how you are keeping things moving. Are you still shipping? It sounds like it.
Yeah. So I guess we were very lucky. We are based in New Jersey. We're 20 miles outside of New York City. And luckily, the no work or warehousing, logistics, as well as manufacturers are able to stay open. So like I said, it's just me in the front. And then we have 2 teams in the back in the warehouse. We switch every week. We have the guys, like I was mentioning, wearing goggles and gloves and masks and socially distanced. And every week we transition just so we do have redundancy if somebody gets sick. So not a whole team goes out, and we have people who can come on in. But we actually have, if any of your viewers are listening and are working on an order, we have all our samples going out the same day. And we have over 1,000 items, over 1 million yards that you can actually order today, and it'll ship out today. As long as the order comes in by 5 o'clock New York time, we can still get it out the same day on over 1,000 items. And when it comes to some of our made-to-order goods, some of the handcrafted items like our rivet wall covering, that particular mill had been closed, but it's actually now opened up this week. So we are still now catching up on made-to-order goods as well. So we have a combination of things that are available now, as well as things that are just starting to come online. So if anyone is listening, please, we'll take any order. We can use them right now.
You know, I was on the phone yesterday with Kerry Granet, and he said that they're seeing a tremendous amount of samples that are going out because they're going to people's different homes because they're sort of building their own library while they're trying to continue to work. Are you seeing that as well?
Yeah, we've definitely seen, I'd say we had a surge, and then it seems to have stayed steady. I think one of the differences, maybe a little unique about Phillip Jeffries, that I think we do a lot of more sampling direct than some of the other companies that are more showroom based. Mm-hmm. And although obviously we do have showrooms all over the country, all over the world that do stock our samples and have them, we've always, I think, been known for really great sample fulfillment. Like if a sample order comes in by, excuse me, 6 p.m. New York time, it goes out the same day. Mm. So we've always been known, I think, for providing some really great service when it comes to samples or next day delivery of wall covering. So I think that is something people have always known us for. So to answer your question, we did see a surge, and it's kind of it was like this, and now it's still up. So I wouldn't say it dipped, but I'd say steady.
Yeah, great. Are you seeing any longer lead times for people? You know, because of some previous factory closings?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, when it came to the made-to-order goods, those particular mills, depending on where they were located. Luckily, many people know we actually have our own factory in Japan, so that has been able to be open on a smaller, excuse me, smaller scale. Meaning we've been instead of running 2 shifts, running 1 shift. So that materials have been been able to be produced. We've had some of our vinyls still continuing to be produced, and a couple of them here and there, and a couple of the specialties here and there that did have a little bit of a longer lead time. And our goal is that next week to try to get back into a full rotation, a full manufacturing levels again when it comes to the made-to-order goods. So I'd say about 70 to 80% of our things are shipping right away. And then the other quarter to 30%, we're still playing a little bit of catch up.
So the products from Japan can be shipped without a problem?
Yeah, what we do is, you know, we'll actually manufacture it in Japan and stock everything in New Jersey. Okay. So we are many times, you know, manufacturing anywhere for having containers come in almost every month, or multiple containers coming in every month of new goods and replenishments of existing goods. So between Jeffrey, my brother who had a supply chain background, and then our supply chain director who has a pretty sophisticated background as well. We've have some really interesting algorithms that have allowed us to, I think, provide some of the best service level in the industry. I'd love to hear feedback, you know, from the group. If you've ordered from Phillip Jeffries, if we had have had good service. And if we have, please say yes. And if we haven't, please let me know. I'd be happy to see how I can do better.
Yeah, we should probably start doing like those polls that you can do online while we're in the middle of the conversation, so you can get that answer.
Absolutely.
I just did one with my son's college, and it's fascinating. You can like plug in a number right on the screen, and then you get the answer like within seconds.
Oh, it's fun.
So we could try that.
If you like Phillip Jeffries, say yes. If you don't say anything.
I'm sure
Hopefully we'll get some chats.
Let's talk about your staff for a second. So, you said you're the only one in the office. How have you been communicating with them, and how's that going?
Well, I'll tell you, it's like I spoke to Keith earlier last week, and I was driving home and on FaceTime. It's like even almost every call I think now is either a FaceTime or a Google Duo or a Zoom. We're using Microsoft Teams a lot. Again, if anyone, I swear I don't work for Microsoft, but if you do have Microsoft 365, which is where we have our email, and I found that's been an amazing tool. I guess it's like Slack. I'm not that familiar with Slack, but where it's ongoing chats, and you could do actually video calls, and I found that's been really effective. Instead of having these huge email chains, you'll have a couple of quick texts, and you can go back and say, oh, what happened on that? And I found that's been working really well. So between daily Google Duos with my 5 direct reports, our weekly huddles. We've been doing the videos on that Yammer, which is like the internal Facebook page. And I'll tell you one thing. Actually, someone recommended to me, and I think it's a good learning for anyone who has their own business or who's listening, is in these times, you might have to communicate 2 or 3 times the same thing a couple of times. And that's probably true in life in general, and because everyone is going to hear something a different way. And even though I can see you, you could see me, I think different people are going to interpret things differently. I think we've always known this about email and text, but I do find that sometimes I'm having to just take, again, 2 steps back, be patient, and it's something I could do a better job at, is being more patient, but with that, it's trying to find out different ways to communicate, and again, trying to be patient. That this person might have been in a huge fight with their partner right before going on the call, and that's going to affect what's going on, because I do think that there is, I know there's so much going on between people having kids home, dealing in small spaces, and I think with that, we have to continue to communicate in a lot of different ways, and at the same time, be patient.
Yeah. I mean, I do think we're all sort of a little bit sick of looking at ourselves on all these Zoom calls. But on the other hand, seeing somebody and being able, like, it really makes me feel happy to see your face and to talk to you like this versus just another call. So I think it's really great. I don't know if you remember Sabrina Clark, who was our leadership coach in Lisbon, but we did a session with her the other day, and she said, if you see that there's some member that's not turning on their camera on a regular call, should actually go and call them and say, hey, what's going on? We really do need to see your face. I mean, you don't have to do it all the time, and you don't want to force it, but you really want to encourage people to, because that's the engagement you need. You need to actually feel like you're with that person, you care about that person. So I thought it was great advice.
Absolutely.
So anything else that you think that our viewers want to see before we open up to questions or hear?
So just to share with the team, just a couple of things that are going on at Phillip Jeffries besides our PJ Pledge that we launched. We have some new product, a new launch that we're going to have coming out in 2 weeks. So I'm really excited about that. We are launching actually our first ever magazine. We're calling it The Drop.
Why The Drop?
If anyone is listening at some Phillip Jeffries installations, please contact us. We'd love to show it. It's going to be a combination of showing some great designer installations, talking about some things we're doing. It's Earth Day. I don't know if everyone knows, but at Phillip Jeffries, we had partnered with Arbor Day Foundation. We plant a tree for every order that comes in. So we've planted over 160,000 trees so far. It shows the warehouse, but as well as just how some of the fabulous wall coverings are produced, like some of the artisans there in Vietnam weaving it, or the authentic gold leaf on the horsehair that's actually behind me. And then it's a nice little reference tool for designers as well. So again, it's some just great installations, and that's something that's we're launching in 2 weeks. Again, it's called the PJ Drop, or the Drop. And then lastly,
So Philip, where's the name come from?
Every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm doing Instagrams lives at Phillip Jeffries. I interviewed last week Whitney from El Decor, and Joe from House Beautiful, and Dennis from Business of Home, as well as some top designers. So that's every Tuesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Central. So see me, it's fun. It's Phillip. It's the theme of the show. It's called Behind the Design, and it's design, business, and life in this crazy new world.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a theme song for every designer, different each time.
Really?
Yeah. And the best part is we have rapid fire at the end with a fun theme song. So we have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, that ties into your love for music, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Those who know me, but sometimes I'll take a microphone at a dance party or a bar mitzvah.
Yes, we do know that about you. Well, let's open this up to questions. Lauren, do we have questions for Philip?
Sure. I first have a comment from Kate. She wanted to let Philip know the free storage initiative is great. Thanks for sharing the information with us. And I also have a question from Alan. Can you repeat the acronym that you use with your staff that you shared at the beginning of this talk?
Absolutely. It's called WHIP tag, and it's an acronym that stands for our values. A number of years ago, when say over 10, 15 years ago, when we decided, at the time we were actually selling fabric and furniture and wall covering and trim, even leather rugs, and we decided, what did we want to be the best at? And we really focused and decided that we were going to get rid of everything and really stay focused. And our vision was to become the world leader for wall covering. And having that focus really helped. And then year two, it was, what did we want our company to stand for? And what were the values that we thought were most important, or that we wanted to even be better at? And the acronym, again, is WHIP tag, and it stands for Wow Fun, Integrity, Passion, Teamwork, Accountability, and Growth. So everyone at Phillip Jeffries, at least over the last 19 years, and I don't know if this year is going to be one of them, but every year that we've hit our profit goals, we share bonuses with our entire staff from the warehouse on up, and everyone based on their level as well as their, based on their role rather. We'll have a different bonus number, of course, but with their manager or their leader, every quarter they sit down and they say, how are we living with these values? How are you doing? Wow, we define as, if this is the standard that everybody else is doing, what are we doing that are 2 or 3 things better? And the fun part stands for, we sometimes work together with each other more than we are with our own family until recent times. And with that, let's try to have fun. And then again, I can go through all of them again, one by one. I'd be happy to talk on that more. But each one of those values has definitions. And then with that, it's a case of how we could do better. Because the concept was, and again, a lot of the people listening, I'm sure, are business owners. It's, as you continue to grow, you can't spend the same exact amount of time with each person that you used to as your company grows. So it's really important that you systematize what you think is most important and really hammer it home so that your people can be living the values and the culture that you want them to live and that you think is excellent.
Great.
All right, I have a question from Jeffrey and Paulette. They would like to subscribe to the drop. How do they do that?
That'd be fabulous. My email is Philip@PhillipJeffries, and Keith, I don't know if we can provide everybody some information afterwards, or if we could send an email, if that's okay, to the people listening on how to
Sure.
do that. But we'd love to have you all subscribe, and we'd be happy to send that out to you.
So Philip, the drop, where'd you get the name?
Well, we went through a lot of names, but for a lot of you all who know wall covering, you know, they when they refer to a length for the wall, it's considered a drop,
Okay.
as well as getting the drop on what's new and exciting. So it was kind of a play on words that we went through 4 or 5 different ones, and we thought it was fun. What do you guys think? Hopefully you all like it. What do you think, Keith?
It's cool. No, and then how do you explain that? I didn't know the drop about the wall covering, so I learned something new today.
Something new every day, hopefully.
Hopefully. Lauren, more?
Yeah, so I actually have a comment from Pierre. He first of all, he wants to thank Phillip Jeffries for their excellent service and Mr. Bershad for his time spending, the time he's spending with designers. This is helpful to know all this information and how all of us are coping with the current situation. So big thanks from Pierre. And so I do have a question from Marlene. She's asking, what products do you have that include horsehair, and is the hair sourced from Mongolia?
It's a good question. It's actually our version of a horsehair. No horses were actually harmed in the production of it. I don't know if you all can see. I'll kind of, I'll put, but this is, I don't know if you can see. That's one of the horsehair products we produce. It's actually made of hand-woven abaca, and it actually creates that look or feel of a horsehair, but without necessarily including horses. It allows us to go a little wider as well. It's 36 inches when a horsehair product's only 20 inches, and as well as being able to be, it's also a green material. It's annually harvested and then hand woven in villages in the Philippines for us. And then we actually take it, and in addition to providing it, as you see it here, we actually have a collection called Metal Lux, or metallic ombre, that we actually have hand leafed, where they'll actually hand gold or silver or platinum leaf metal squares on it to create an ombre effect on the horsehair.
Great. I have a question from Lisa. She's asking, Phillip Jeffries is a leader in grass cloth wall coverings, and you literally grew up with the material. Can you share with us what you consider the most creative or inventive use of grass cloth?
Most creative, that's a really good one. What's been most creative? I'll tell you, I've seen some really fun stuff. I've seen some people who have done some easy tips are if you take it and railroad it, so instead of going vertically like this, you can go like this and then create like oversized scaled stripes. I've also seen a couple of people do some really fun things, like I worked at I think it was a hotel where they had a huge like 16-foot or 20-foot wall, and they actually created different geometric shapes to create almost a Mondrian effect. So maybe this is a parallelogram and this is a triangle, and they created some really amazing effects. So the designer actually laid it out, or created a sketch rather, and then they had their installer actually put it up and then create some really spectacular looks or feels. So I'd say that was a pretty innovative way to use a natural material.
Cool. Jody's asking, are you seeing any difference in how the current climate has affected your residential designers versus those working in hospitality, as far as projects possibly being put on hold?
Yeah, was it Jody you said?
Yes.
Yeah. So Jody, I'll tell you what I've been hearing when I've been talking to a lot of designers is that projects are either going forward or putting on hold, but not too many canceled. I don't know what your experience is, or what you your network is telling you. But one of the things, I was on a call actually earlier on Monday, and actually had heard a couple of designers actually got new projects, which is kind of exciting. And I was talking with someone, I don't know if I was talking with you, Keith, or someone else recently, that now that the market's come back a little bit from the low, it's 25% up from the low. Maybe a lot of high-end designers out, not high-end designers rather, but hopefully high-end designers, but also high-end clients are looking at their portfolio and saying, you know what, it's not as bad as I think. Let's go ahead with this particular project. And additionally, one of the things I'm hopeful of I'm hearing from friends in the industry as well as friends who aren't in this industry is say, you know, I've been in this house so long, that rug's killing me, or that you know, that sofa is totally needs to be redone, or most importantly, oh, those walls behind me, I need something good for Zoom or FaceTime, and I wanted to do re-wall covering. So in regards to that, I'd say I'm hopeful that it will be a quick recovery. Needless to say, I'd say it is very difficult right now. Most people I've spoken to in the industry, at least on the manufacturing end, like myself and vendors, are having a very difficult month. And we were having a great March right until everything happened, and then it kind of fell off the cliff. And with it, you know, our sales are down right now. But I'm thinking long term, I do see, I'll say, green shoots might be a good term to use. That I have not heard about so many cancellations. I have heard of cancellations, but more things being put on hold than being canceled.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm hearing from our industry and the people I've been talking to, is that most things are either suspended or put on hold, but not that many full-on cancellations. And I do believe that after we've been stuck in our homes for, you know, this many weeks and months, it's going to be time to like throw out that sofa or just want to redo things that you're sick of looking at. I think we're going to see a pretty big resurgence once people feel like they can get out of the house. And they
And
feel
on a side note, I might maybe that's a good conversation to have with your clients, to all the designers out there, to be like, you know, tell me when you're checking in. All right, you'll have to tell me when you're ready. What's the one thing that's killing you that you want to redo? Or
right.
And maybe that's a good starting point, right? Because I will tell you, literally everyone I'm talking to, it's something, right? It's something from I got to redo the trim to I got to, you know, get a new chair. We did hear Wayfair actually was up 40%. So I don't know if that's you know, just the country as a whole wanting some things for the home, but I think that there is definitely going to be a resurgence. And again, maybe that's a talking point for anyone who wants to try that, and you can let me know how it works.
Yeah, exactly. Lauren?
All right, we have time just for a couple more questions. I have a question from Tim. He's asking, has the move to your own showroom in New York City made a significant difference?
Well, Tim, we had horrible timing. The showroom opened mid-March, and not mid-March, sorry, mid-January, and the part of the month that it was open was good, but again, we were down based on the fact that we only opened half a month. And then in February, it started getting some great acceleration, and we were having some tremendous traffic and some really nice orders. So it was looking very optimistic. And like I said, and then March, literally we had partnered with El Decor to have our opening party on March 12th. And that weekend, even that weekend, to share with you, it was people were just starting to talk about it, and none of the design centers had closed yet. And you know, on Friday we were still deciding to go ahead with it the following Thursday, and then over the weekend, like I mentioned earlier, things were just changing every minute. And we said, you know what? It wasn't a time for celebration. We want to be celebrating. It was supposed to be a great occurrence. And we had an amazing party plan. I can't even tell you guys what was going to happen. It was going to be like one of these old time parties back in the day with like amazing entertainment and fun and what have you. But you have to stay tuned, and hopefully we'll all be able to celebrate sometime soon in the fall.
Yeah, sure we will. I think everybody's repurposed the name March Madness to mean something else.
Philip, Marlene has a follow-up question about installers and patterns. It's hard to find an installer to create those shapes. I couldn't find anyone here to do it in San Diego. Any suggestions how to find the right person?
Absolutely. There's a couple of things. Groups. One is called the WIA, which is the Wall Covering Installer Association. It used to be called the Designer Guild of Wall Covering. Additionally, Marley, if you're in San Diego, we have a showroom partner there named Harsey and Harsey. And if you want to send me an email directly, Philip at Phillip Jeffries, I'd be happy to connect you with Darren, the owner, or one of the managers there, who has a list of different design installers as well in San Diego. And I'm sure we'd be happy to get you a list of a number of names who could do some really innovative, fun stuff.
All right, I actually have a question for Keith. A user's asking, can Keith get more vendors to come on this webinar and talk about their services and ways to serve the design community?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing this as a 12-week series. We'll see if we can continue it further than that. But we've got other vendors lined up that, and so we are continuing to do that. Our next one is actually the CEO of Nicole Hollis, a very large interior design firm, and just to see how they're managing their business. We want to give you an example or hearing from people in all sort of walks of our industry. So we have designers, we have some industry leadership coaches, banking relationships, if that's important for some, and the vendors. But we're more populated with vendors than designers and industry leaders or leadership people. But we'll continue to get more and more vendors on board. And there's quite a few. Just to tell you some of the people that are in our lineup: Chad Stark from Stark Carpet, Carrie Kravitz from Kravitz, Mark Safran, who is the new president of Holly Hunt, and I'm trying to think who else we have lined up. The rest, I think, are either designers. So, you know, again, we will add more and more as you are enjoying this. So thank you for that.
I hope I was able to answer some questions that were helpful for the design industry.
Yeah, Philip, I have a comment from Jeff saying he looks forward to celebrating your New York City showroom in the fall. So he's optimistic.
Thanks, Jeff. I hope you'll be able to make our opening. I hope we all will be able to.
Yeah, we will.
We will.
I think that's all our questions today, Keith.
Oh, great. Philip, I can't thank you enough, and I know our audience is very thankful for your attendance, and we all want to support each other, and we know you're here for us, and we will be there for you as well. We'll get you email addresses for anybody who wants to reach out to you, and then anybody who did not have an opportunity to sign on today, we will post this to our entire community, which is about 7,000 users. And so you may be hearing from a lot, we hope. And, you know, again, stay safe and stay sane. It's my saying.
Thank you. And again, if anyone has time on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. New York time, I'd love to see your faces as we talk a little design, or if there's any other questions that you think of, or suggestions, or ways that we can help at Phillip Jeffries, or could help the industry, either yourself or the industry, please let us know, because we'd love to hear from you all. Again, my name is Philip, my brother's Jeffrey, and my email is Philip at Phillip Jeffries wall covering, or just Philip at philipjeffries.com.
Great. Thank you, Philip.
Thanks again, Keith.
Okay, take care.
Thank you all for attending. Please join us next week. Our guest is Louis Heathcote, CEO of Nicole Hollis. You can register from your Studio Designer dashboard. If you have any questions or feedback about this session, please email us at hello@studiodesigner.com. Thank you so much for being part of our Studio Designer community.